Well, here we go again. This is Michael Rosenberg, and I'm now going to tell you a little bit about my third book, which is called The Little Lost Tune. These are more adventures from our friends from Bendelot, Sandy and Handy. Remember them from before? This is going to be a fun one. You're going to enjoy it. So, as Sandy and Handy strolled along the banks of their favourite little stream near to their village of Bendelot, they heard the sound of music. As you will know from the previous stories about Bendelot, they are quite adventurous twins, both aged 8 years old. The sound seemed to be coming from within the reeds which grew along the side of the stream. It was a beautiful sound, and as they looked, to their amazement, they could see musical notes floating through the air. And as the wind caught the notes, it seemed to be playing with them and tossing them, first high and then low. Sometimes they went so low that they almost touched the water of the stream. As this happened, the most wonderful little tune could be heard tinkling and playing up and down with the movement of the wind. There's a picture of our little friends by the stream, and you can see the notes floating away. Look at them. Look at the notes floating up and down and up and down. The twins ran up and down, trying to catch the notes as they whirled round their heads. But just as they thought they'd one in their hand, it slipped away and tinkled its tune all around them. Eventually they were all out of breath and had to sit down to recover. The wind also settled, and the little tune became fainter, and then, all of a sudden, disappeared into the reeds again. Slowly they peered into the reeds, and try as they did, they just couldn't see or hear anything. The little tune was lost. They were very upset at losing their new friend so soon. Sandy tried calling to the little tune. "Little tune, where are you?" she cried. Handy thought that if they sang the tune, they would come to them, so they tried that. Still nothing happened. Just then a light breeze started up, and there was a rustling sound. Suddenly, floating across the stream, they saw two notes stuck together. There was a crying sound, and the notes were saying, "Where is the rest of our tune? Please help us, we are sinking." "What are you called?" said Sandy. "We are Charlie and Clara Crotchet, and we really need your help." The twins decided immediately that they should try to help. They grabbed the two little crotchets from the stream, carefully dried them, and asked them to wait whilst they told their parents what they had in mind and how they could help. There they are, catching them. So the twins rushed home as fast as they could. They gathered some provisions for their next adventure and told their parents they were in search of some music. That seemed a very good idea, so they organised their tent, and Mother packed some nice spare clothes and kissed them goodbye. They promised this time to go not too far and hoped to be back no later than the next day. There they are. Look at them again. They rushed back to the banks of the river and called out to the little lost tune. The two little notes floated out in the air from behind the reeds and were so happy that they now had some help, that they jingled as best they could a little tiny tune to get them in the mood. Handy and Sandy had brought their wooden flutes so they could play along with the notes. It was a very little tune, but it helped to get them on the way. Well, look what's happened there. Do you know what that is? What had happened was that there was a special concert for the fairies and goblins who lived in the forest. As a special treat, the concert was to be held in the big cave where their old friend the big giant lived, and he was going to put on a special party for everyone. Twins had never been to a proper concert before, so the notes explained this was a group of musicians who all played a variety of different instruments. There was a person called a conductor who was responsible for keeping them in order. Music came in special sheets where all the notes were written down. There were different musical notes for different sounds. Some were called crotchets, and then there were quavers and minims. In this case, the music had been written by some elves who said they were very good at these things. However, things started to go a bit wrong when they were rehearsing and practicing the concert. The elves had not quite managed to stick all the notes down properly on the paper, and they kept drifting off into the air, which caused total confusion. The poor conductor was so upset and kept banging his baton loudly and waving his arms about. But the more he waved his arms and the more he banged the baton, the quicker the notes flew into the air. And there they are, look at them all, flying away. flying away. Well, the rest of the story is in The Little Lost Tune, which you can buy on Amazon. And shortly, you're going to be able to buy another book. It's going to be called Chili, the Lost Polar Bear. All of my books start, apart from Chili, start with Bendelot and the story of Bendelot. And I'm going to write you some more stories. So start reading. I'm sure you're going to enjoy. Lots of love from your favourite author, Michael Rosenberg.